Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Guys, I want to come, to review some things with you. I am wanting to making sure that you guys stay abreast in what's going on. I only don't just talk about your resumes and your cover letters and what you need to do on your interviews and how to negotiate salaries. I also want to make sure you're abreast of what's going on right now in the job market and also what's going on with some of these companies. Some of them are not treating their employees right. And I'm going to be reviewing cases from Department of Labor, from the news, from different situations, different circumstances. I want you guys to be aware that employment law is very important for you to stay on top of as an employee or as an employer providing jobs to people. It's not just, you're not just doing things as you see fit or like you want to, of course. And I want to review this particular case. Let's see here. If I can get to it, Jesus. I'm also going to put the link for the case below. All right, this is from the DOL website. Go ahead and put the link in the chat. Guys. All right. Let's see how this works. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. There you go. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about it. Where are we? Okay. All right, Joe. Sharing my whole stuff with you. Oh, Jesus. Let's see, y'all. Let's see. Y'all bear with me a moment. Here we are, y'all. Just want to make sure you guys have the link so you can read it for yourselves as well. U.S. Department of Labor recovers $198 for 19 workers denied overtime pay by Lynchburg, Virginia restaurant. Of course, whenever they've come to an actual decision on the case, they're going to blast your name. Jalisco Inc., doing business as La Carreta Mexican restaurant in Lynchburg, Virginia. Here are the investigation findings at this point. The U.S. Department of Labor investigated and found that Jalisco Inc. violated overtime and record-keeping requirements for Fair and Labor Standards Act by paying employees straight time wages instead of overtime for over 40 hours in a work week and failing to maintain accurate records of the employees' work hours. The back pay that they have to pay out now is $99,480 in back wages. Employee amounts in liquidated damages total $198,000, over $198,000. Quote, restaurant employees are essential workers, and the employers must pay them all their rightful wages to enable them to provide for their families and themselves, said the Wage and Hour Administration District Director Roberto Melendez in Richmond, Virginia. Unfortunately, shortchanging employees' wages is not uncommon in the restaurant industry. Employers can avoid costly violations by knowing and complying with the Fair Labor Standards Act, which is called FLSA, to help prevent future violations. The Wage and Hour Division encourage employers and workers to contact us with questions or concerns. Guys, let me see there. Let me get back on the screen here. I want to talk to you. Guys, it is very important that if you are experiencing this, I'm going to leave the information below that if you need to report that's happening to you in your employer or at your employer currently, go ahead and report them. If you're working your butt off, if you're pulling 50, 60 hours and they're paying you straight time, I don't care if it's a restaurant, it could be a hunt in Timbuktu. Well, not in Timbuktu, but in the US, because these employment laws are only for the US of A. But if you're working your butt off, you should get paid time and a half, period. No questions about it, guys. If you are experiencing anything like this, the restaurant industry is notorious for not paying people properly. Lucky if they get a proper hourly wage. I've heard as low as $2 or $3 or $4 an hour, and they make most of their money on tips. Fine, I don't have an issue with that, but I want to make sure you know your rights. I'm going to give a little HR secret right about now. Shh, don't tell nobody, okay? But the employer is subject to over 300 employment laws. Wage and hour laws are among them. Just like how I was able to find that information on the DOL, you guys can actually email. As a matter of fact, let me go back to that page so I can show y'all. Like, literally, I want you guys to be aware. This is not something to joke around with. Look, there's emails right here. If you want to know how to report this stuff, you can start. There's a phone number here. You can call and ask questions. There's an email right here, guys. It's not rocket science. If you are experiencing anything like this, guys, I want you to be aware that you can do this. You can really do this. And if you're working for an organization that is corrupt, if you're working for an organization that is not handling their business, and if they're working for an organization that's not paying you properly, and here's where I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm saying. If they're not paying you properly, you notify them. Say, let's say for example, they worked 60 hours last week. Okay? 40 of those hours are paid straight time. Another 15 of those hours are supposed to be paid at 1.5 hours. They're supposed to be paid time and a half. If they pay you straight pay for the entire thing and then don't pay your overtime, and you've notified them more than once and they still haven't paid you properly, and it's happened more than once, then it's time to have a conversation with the DOL. Do not let anybody, employer or not, take advantage of your time and take advantage of the labor that you provide to them for a fee. Yes, you're an employee, but you are also an advocate for yourself. You are not going to work for these places for free. And if you work overtime, you should be paid for overtime. Point blank, and the period. And if there's any employer that wants to say anything else or want to say, oh, this and this and that, and they have an issue with accountability, then they may end up like this employer. You either become accountable up front or you're going to pay to be accountable on the back end. See, because these 19 workers, they took them for granted. They just lost $200,000 because they didn't want to pay them properly. So guys, I am going to be doing this more often. If you have questions in regards to just what's going on in your workplace, if you're ready to leave that bad boy and you're definitely looking for a resume overhaul, things of that nature, you can definitely go to mentorshelley.com/consultations. I am more than happy to help you with all of those. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. And of course, if you have questions in regard to this, if you think you are experiencing this in any way, shape, or form at work right now, go ahead and leave some questions for me. You can go to mentorshelley.com/contact. We can leave me a voicemail or an email message, and I am more than happy to return the voicemail or an email within 24 hours. Guys, I want to make sure that the person that's going to take care of you first is you. The employer, you're providing a service for a fee. We're not here to make friends, baby. We're doing business. Yes, even as employees, you're doing business. Okay? So you have to keep that in mind when you are at work. Let me see for any questions or concerns. All right, guys. And of course, go ahead and go over it on your own just to see. They have a lot of cases that come through on the DOL, and there's other things that come in the news that I want you guys to be aware and to be cognizant of what's going on. And hopefully you're not experiencing anything like this. All right, guys, of course, take care. And if you have questions, all right, hit me up on the contact link there, of course. And if you want to work with me directly, you can definitely go and hit the consult link as well. And I also have a website at mentorshelley.com. You can review videos, podcast episodes, things of that nature. Of course, guys, I want to make sure that you're here. I'm here to help you to become a better version of yourself professionally, whether it's in the job market or starting your business or becoming the most wonderful version of yourself in the professional space. All right, guys, take care. You have a good one. Bye.